There's the good stress. You're right. We have to. If we didn't have some stress in our life, we one of them, let's use fear.
Yeah.
The emotion of fear. If you didn't have fear, you wouldn't look both ways when you cross a busy street.
Right.
You definitely do not want to be
Fear
hit
is a
by
survival
that car.
thing.
That's exactly it. That's where stress
It's a
is
survival
good.
instinct.
This
Yes.
is good. But if you are not putting into your savings account and just withdrawing out of your savings account, think of that as your body.
Yeah.
Pretty soon you're not going to have any reserves to fall back on.
Right.
That is when BodyTalk can help you. Help you again, balance it out.
Yes.
Help you again, create the harmony, restore. I like the word restore, the harmony.
Mm-hmm.
Help you to understand, like Tone-Lise said, stress is always there. Drive on the road.
Oh, yeah.
And getting a cold. The one thing that BodyTalk helps in terms of dealing better with stress is strengthening your immune system, strengthening your lymphatic
That's usually the first
system,
thing that gets
all
knocked
this
out,
stuff.
isn't it, when you're under great amounts of stress?
Often it is. And then
Yeah.
you're more susceptible to illness and all these things.
And you think of some of the other common interferences. Lack of sleep.
Yes.
Burning the candle at both ends.
Yes.
I love that saying. That comes from my mom, that she would say that. But it's true. Your body needs sleep. Maybe different. I may need 6 hours. You may need 7, Stacy. But you need to figure out what you need. Another poor diet.
Let me just add one thing to sleep. One of the reasons it's so important to get sufficient amount of sleep, and it can vary, like Belle says, how many hours each one needs. But that's when your body is in a healing and restore mode. And that's another thing where BodyTalk comes in. When we work on somebody, it's like helping them to get back into the healing and restore mode instead of the fight and flight mode.
So you're
where
adding.
and the metaphor I use, when your body is fleeing the tiger, it's
Yes.
not going to worry about your digestive system or this
No.
little thing here or there. It's in survival mode. Mm-hmm. So we need to shift it into healing and restore mode.
In which we would then add to the account. We'd add to the savings account of that.
Yes,
Very
absolutely.
much onto that.
We're making a deposit.
And again, having
Yeah.
it that way. Diet.
Yes.
It would be wonderful if we would just all eat the fresh fruits and vegetables and eat the non-processed food and eat the organic beef and really
In a
be
perfect world.
In a perfect world. And my greatest desire was to always ban pop soda.
Yes.
If I could have that done. And let people drink water.
Yes.
That's a great interference right there. If you're not eating correctly, you're not nourishing yourself. If you're not nourishing yourself, your systems do not have anything to respond to.
I know, it's
Trauma.
funny walking around Urban Harvest down here today. I was watching the people that were eating cheeseburgers. They looked much different than the people that were eating hummus wraps.
Stacey had hummus wraps.
I had a hummus wrap. I did.
Who made the
And it
hummus
felt
wrap,
so
Stacey?
good. The walrus made the hummus wrap. It was so good. And you know what? I felt good eating it, and I felt good after eating it. My body liked it.
And we're spoiled there. It's kind of like the doctor fixing it. We're also spoiled that everything always has to taste good.
Yeah.
Everything has to have the right texture.
But the fact is, your taste buds does change too. I used
sure.
to be addicted to bread. I used to eat more sugar. And once I started cutting it out, not completely, but almost, it took, like, carrot tasted sweet to me. Peas and onion tasted sweet to me.
Right.
And what I often say, being a nutritionist as a background, is the 80-20 rule or the 85-15 rule. If most of what you eat is healthy, your
Yes.
body can deal with a little bit of junk. It's
Yeah.
like, but when the majority gets to be junky, that's when the alarm flags go off.
Or if you're one of these that can eat one meal a day. If your body can actually handle that, the majority of us need to have 3 meals a day. We need to have at least nourishment 3 times just to give us the energy to let us being able to cope with this. Lack of exercise. There's a great one too. That's
That's a huge one
interference.
too, yeah.
We're made to. We're made to move. And our world now with computer work and all the screens we're sitting in front of,
It's hard. It's
Yeah.
hard.
I'm wearing my pedometer today.
We ended up parking further away, thinking that the parking would be bad here because of Urban Harvest. And
Right.
And both Tone-Lise and I said as we walked in the door, we both had not had walks yet today, so we wanted
you
to
were
walk a little
thankful.
bit more.
Yeah.
We were glad about that. I think of genetics. Genetics, another interference. You know, what did great grandma do?
Right.
You know, what did she pass down? That's one of those that's into there.
And it can actually come up. There's certain genetic markers that can't be changed, but they're also what they're finding, research is finding, is there are certain genetic markers that we can work on balancing.
Sure.
And so there's some room for healing.
Oh,
even
that
within
is.
that.
And think of that. That is huge.
Yeah. It is. And I want to just add John Veltheim, Dr. John Veltheim, who's the founder of BodyTalk, has spent years researching the brain and also draws on experts in different fields. So, and he's done some remarkable work within this
Yes.
area.
And there's lots of interference, but I would like to just spend the last part of this with trauma. And
Yeah, trauma, especially now, flooding and disasters,
Right.
and
And-
Sergeant Kenner being killed, and car accidents every day, and I mean, there's things every day that people, somebody's going through trauma probably right now as we speak.
Oh, a great point, Stacy, because I wrote on my notes under trauma that stuff happens, and stuff happens regularly. And not that I would put any of those things that you mentioned there into stuff, but it's we are experiencing trauma every single day.
Sure.
BodyTalk will give you a tool to be able to handle trauma, be able to understand that this is a normal part of life, that you don't have to respond to it in a stressful way when there is trauma. BodyTalk allows the mind to be communicating with the body. It allows that balance to be in there for you, so you are able to handle things a lot better.
And process. I like to use the word process. What we see with our clients is when there's an issue is when things get stored, when the processing stop. You know, we're good stuffers. Or I joke about we're good garbage
Yeah.
collectors.
Yes,
you
for
know?
sure.
And especially if we're stoic, we've been taught to be stoic, keep it all inside.
Keep it all
you
inside,
know?
no emotion.
Yeah. And that's when it can cause harm.
And I would like to give an example, because this is a long time ago that I was working with a younger woman who came in with horrific ankle, knee, leg pain. And it was to the point where she was not able to walk, she wasn't able to work, she wasn't able to do anything. It was disabling her. And she came in for BodyTalk, and she was at a chiropractor. She was doing all these different things. And it took, when we talk about the process, I think it took a couple of months
Wow.
before we got to the point where the BodyTalk revealed that she was at a point in her life where she felt stagnant in Bismarck. And there had been several friends who had gone together into a different town in Minnesota. They wanted her to move. And she was terrified of leaving the comfort, the familiarity of Bismarck, and going over there to Minnesota and probably having a very great life. And when that came out, it linked itself immediately to her legs, to her knees, to her ankles, and to the fact that she was stuck. She had just allowed herself to get stuck with the fear. We started to work through that fear, started to balance that out, started to harmonize her body, and she is now, I just heard from her at Christmas, happily living in Minnesota
Yeah.
with her friends, doing just great.
Good.
Without even realizing it, she had set up a barrier, taking away her joy, taking away her happiness.
Wow.
That, when you think of
Isn't
what...
that funny how literally our body can take something on, like the weight of the world on your shoulders? That's true. Feeling stuck. You have leg problems and knee
Leg
problems.
And the other thing I need to tell you, within 2 weeks of this coming up, the pain started to leave. It started at at her thighs, started going down into the knees, and left in her ankles was last, but it was gone. Think of the
How
energy
funny.
that was pulled up. Think of the what was working against her there, that was coming out as that symptom.
Yeah. Now, if people are having some interference with healing, they know they're not eating right, they're not sleeping right, how can BodyTalk help them?
Well, back to how we defined BodyTalk. BodyTalk helps restore communication within the body.
Okay.
So when you have better communication between the liver and the pancreas, your digestion may be positively affected. When you have better communication between the brain and the heart, or between or the whole circulation system, or you can take anything. Because all these 50 trillion some cells need to communicate. And anytime there's a breakdown in communication on some level, it's going to affect your health. Now, granted, those who take better care of their body probably going to heal a little faster.
Sure.
They have more resource available. But no matter what you do, we've seen positive effects by BodyTalk.
I think, too, that BodyTalk will, what we do as practitioners, I love the word awareness. We make you aware that this stuff happens.
Yes.
It's not going to change. Every one of these subjects we went over for interference, we said it's going to happen to you. You know, it would be great if you always got a good night's sleep. It would be great if you ate the 85-15% and ate properly. It's not going to always happen. So be aware of that. Don't get down on yourself. Start at the moment. Start today. Start now. What you did in the past is there. Past. Don't go there.
And I just want to say, too, another thing we do in BodyTalk, there's always a lot of things going on in the body. And sometimes different parts becomes overwhelmed. So what we do, we highlight to your brain and nervous system one issue. Let's start here. Don't worry so much about this and that and that. But right now, we're going to worry about the headaches and how we can restore balance in that area. And I liken it to remodeling. If you think of remodeling your whole house, it gets a little overwhelming. But maybe we'll start in that. It started with the kitchen, and maybe more specifically the kitchen drawer.
Yes.
That's doable. And that's how BodyTalk, we're actually highlighting a specific area. Let's focus on this, and then it's a process. Then we'll take it step by step.
And I think we're back to that word again, being a process. And does it take how much time? It depends on the person as to how much time it is. But I do know this, that once you start to use the tools, once you start to understand, once you start to see the interferences, once you start to realize that these things are attainable, it can start to domino. It does make a difference. Will you slide back a couple of times? Yes. But walk forward again.
Right.
That's what BodyTalk does for you. It makes it attainable.
Now, do you guys have a presentation coming up here? When's your next presentation coming up?
We have a monthly free presentation. Our next one will be August 10th at 6:30 at Lifeways, which is located on 1001 Gateway Avenue, just between Wells Fargo and Comfort Suites, just south of Gateway. And just call if you want to schedule an appointment or have questions. You can either go on our website, BodyTalk4You.com, spelled out, BodyTalk4You.com, or call.
The telephone number is 701-751-3271. Somebody mans the phone 7 days a week, 24/7. There will be an answering machine.
Correction, mans the phone.
Well,
mans the phone.
There's an
that's including the. If you call that manning the phone, yes, then there's.
If you want, okay. So we have. Before I was so rudely interrupted there, as a live person,
we tease each other all the time.
A live person from 8 to 5, and there is an answering machine with that person's voice on there the rest of the time. They are good about getting back to people. So even if it's convenient for you to call during the day or more convenient for you to call in the evening, do so. They will get back to you. Or you can also email us.
Email us at just staff@bodytalk4you.com, or we each have, Bella and I also have our personal emails. Just go on our website.
How much does a BodyTalk session cost?
We charge for one session, we charge $45 a session. We also, because we believe it is a process, we have a 5-group rate of $199. So it brings it down to $39.80 per session. We also, because we care so much about BodyTalk, we have a way for you to have free sessions forever. Just anybody that you refer and gives us your name, you will have a free session for every referral that you have.
Wow, that's a great deal.
A great deal. We want to get the word out. This is
This is remarkable. I have done it many, many times, and I love it. I feel great afterwards. I feel energized. I am more aware of things as well, you know, so when something comes up, I'm like, oh, I remember TL warned me about that. Same thing with my kids, you know, that I love what it does for them as well, because they can just sit there and relax and just be kids, and then you find out all sorts of wonderful, interesting things about them in the process.
And it helps you with your relationship with your kids throughout life, just day by day.
Okay. All right. I'm writing some stuff down here. All right. Well, thanks for coming in today, ladies. And once again, check out bodytalk4u.com or call them 751-3271. That's 751-3271. And set up an appointment. Just try it once. Just give it a try. You have no idea what it's like until you try it. Like my mom always used to say, don't knock it till you try it.
Thank you, Stacy. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Stacy.
Manpower Hour is up next. You've been listening to Woman Power Hour on urlradio.net.